Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about shade gardens and how to make them pop. Now, I have a shade garden and most of the times when I do garden tours, I skip over it. You know why? It's embarrassing. It's lackluster. It doesn't have a lot of texture. It doesn't have a lot of color contrast. There's really not much to see. But this season, you and I are going to work together on giving it a facelift and bringing it up to the standard that I have for the rest of my yard, as well as just making it have that certain pop. Well, there are three things that I try to have in every flower bed that I design. There needs to be a focal element, and there also needs to be a pop of color, whether that is a burgundy, whether that's like a chartreuse color, something that pulls your eye to that area. The other thing that I need to do was to make sure that there was something of interest all season long. And you can add interest to the garden by different leaf shapes, as well as adding grasses for texture. Another thing that I wanted to do is to make sure that I added other textures in the form of ferns. Ferns are a classic woodland / shade garden plant. And believe it or not, I literally have 2 ferns in this flower bed. So I wanted to up my fern game to add contrast, as well as adding plants that will give me a certain pop. So in this garden, I have about 12 oak leaf hydrangeas that line the back. And several of them are mature enough this year that they're going to put on a nice show. The next level that I have are azaleas and rhododendrons. Those are my shrub layer. I have a lot of native azaleas as well as encore azaleas, which rebloom in the fall and summer to give me color then as well. Down lower, I have bleeding hearts, astilbe, heucheras, hellebores, and a host of other plants, trilliums, toad lilies, Solomon seal, and the like. But it still wasn't enough. Currently in the garden, I have 3 Japanese maples that give me the burgundy color that I'm looking for, as well as some coral bells in that color shade. So I knew that I was good with that color for right now. I am still on the hunt for a shrub that has a burgundy color to still add another element at that height of that color. So the next thing I decided was, let me add some chartreuse, because in the flower bed in front of it, there is a Forever Goldie arborvitae, and there are 2 sunshine ligustrums that are from the yellow family that would play nicely with what I had in mind here. So the other day, I went to the store and I found the first piece. Then Southern Living Plants asked me if I wanted to trial any of their plants in my garden, and I said sure. I'm always willing to try to see how things grow here in my 8A garden in the south, 7B 8A. And the first item that I selected was this grass. This grass is good for shade to part shade, and it is great for containers, or you can plant it in the ground. Now look at all the movement that this gives, right? It is 12 to 18 inches high, 12 to 18 inches wide, and it loves shade, part sun to part to full shade, and it thrives. It's this color regardless if it's in sun or shade, which is what I'm looking for. This chartreuse color pops against the pinks from the encore azaleas, as well as some of the other colors that I have. This could be used in the border, in the ground, or in a container. So it's a very versatile grass. I've seen it used in container arrangements, and it's very beautiful. I have a few of these in the yard already, and they do wonderfully with minimal watering. So great grass to add. Now, while I was shopping the other day for some other things for the garden, I came across these heucheras that are the same color, right? I just think this is a great pairing. And then I'm going to show you where I'm planting them and how much of a great contrast they make and how they further pop in the garden. Currently, the garden looks like this. This is an azalea there, rhododendron, rhododendron, another encore azalea. I have tons of hostas, hellebores, heucheras, astilbe, as well as bleeding hearts and toad lilies, and just a different variety of plants. There are the oak leaf hydrangeas. They're actually covered in blooms. One of the Japanese maples, the other one is right there. And so you can see there is a variety of plants, but it's really missing something. So let me place these plants and then you'll see what I'm talking about. I have not planted them yet, but I wanted you to see just with the placement how the bed pops. That chartreuse color really just complements, especially this purple palace heuchera. So I'm going to get these in the ground and hope it rains like they've forecasted for tomorrow. This is one of our native azaleas that's just about done blooming. It was really pretty when it was blooming. You can see how much the chartreuse color pops against the deep purple of the Purple Palace Heuchera, and how much texture the grass adds. I did go ahead and add compost to the areas that I planted because I had already put down a layer of compost earlier in the spring in this bed, but I went ahead and did it for all the things that I planted today. Could you imagine the addition of just 2 plants has made such a difference in this flower bed? Thank you for joining me today as we begin the task of transforming my shade garden. As always, happy gardening.